Hare Krishna.
So Maharaj, you weren't able to hear, but I did offer my humble obeisances to your holy feet. Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj ki jai, and all the assembled devotees, my obeisances to you, and glories to you all for participating in this morning's program.
Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswami Maharaj Abhirbhav Mahamahotsavatiti ki jai.
Jai.
Gurudev's mantram for Guru Maharaj Devam Divyatanum Sutanda Badanam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Baranam Vairagya Vidya Budhim Sri Siddhantani Dim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatan Ambaram. That line is Sri Siddhantani Dim, the ocean of Bhakti Siddhanta, Subhakti Lasitam, such ornament, such beautiful devotion. Saraswatan Ambaram, the best of the Saraswatas, the followers of Srila Saraswati Thakur. Bande Tam Subhadam Madeka Sharanam, Madeka Sharanam, my only shelter. Nyasiswaram Sridharam, the Nyasi means sannyasi, the Ishvara of the sannyasis. Like in this song, we have Jaya Guru Maharaj, Jati Rajeshwar, means the king of all sannyasis. Jayam Vishnupad, Paramahansa Parivrajaka, Charja Varja, Astatar Sata Sri Srimad Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jayam Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Bhagavan Srila Saraswati Thakur ki jai. Jai His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Saparikar Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Govinda Sundar Ju ki jai. Jai Saparikar Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Govinda Sundar Ju ki jai. Shri Giriraj Govardhan ki jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Ramananda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Go Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Govinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Navadip Dham ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswatamat ki jai. Shri Gupta Govardhan ki jai. Shri Vila Govinda ki jai. Ganga Devi Jamuna Devi Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Madhacharya Vrinda ki jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Bhima Avadut Maharaj ki jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai. Sannyasi Vrinda ki jai. Seva Vrinda ki jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswami Maharaj Abhirbhav Mahamahotsavatiti ki jai. Nitai Go Premanande. Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. So, as the secretary of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, and installed by Guru Maharaj himself as Srila Gurudev's personal secretary, I offer to you, Maharaj, to speak something before me, because we know I have a tendency to go on. So I'm giving you this opportunity now.
Maharaj, we all love that tendency and are nourished by it. And we are all indebted to be able to hear it. Maharaj, with my obeisances and to your holy feet, and by your instruction, by your wish, Maharaj, for me to say a few words first. And you know, Maharaj, we are always pointing the devotees and showing the devotees, this is who we are. We're trying to be servitors and trying to point to Srila Guru Maharaj as the standard of devotional life, the standard of everything. He's all in all, and without any analysis even too much. When we came to Guru Maharaj, we didn't have oceans of books and transcripts and tapes. In fact, we were armed with only the memory of having read some transcript on a very faint carbon copied paper. about Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada, the relationship between the two of them. But coming to Guru Maharaj, we were nourished, to say the least, and it was only coming, knowing who he was already, with the introduction, if you like, of who is Guru Maharaj in this world, as the one Siksha Guru, the one person Srila Prabhupada had mentioned as his Siksha Guru, that he'd received his understanding and wealth of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur through Srila Guru Maharaj and their close association for over 10 years, etc. And so we already knew Guru Maharaj is super special. And we came to him and we were just automatically at home. It's just we've always been here, as it were, by the grace of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, who just made it feel that way. But Maharaj, I don't know if I'm allowed to, but this morning, there's something for Guru Maharaj's appearance, which strikes me so much, coming from Govinda Maharaj's pen. And to glorify Guru Maharaj properly, from my side, if I can quote yourself, if I can quote Govinda Maharaj, then that will be very safe glorification of like the substance of who is Srila Guru Maharaj. And it's gently long, it's not very long. It's actually the shloka, the composition, which is from ceiling to floor on the Samadhi Mandir of Guru Maharaj. Now this doesn't mean that this is for his disappearance, rather it is the glorification of his appearance and life. And so if I may, it's only a few moments, actually. It's a few, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. It's the Sri Guru Prashasti, called Sri Guru Prashasti. It's in glorification of Srila Gurudev by Srila Govinda Maharaj. And why I also like to read this is because Gurudev himself liked this. And I've stood with Gurudev as he's read it, like from top to bottom in the marble, and it's carved in marble by his wish. And so if I may share this with you, of course it's the translation, but if I may share with this with you, it gives a beautiful summary of Guru Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj, please.
Yes, so I'm reading the translation of Guru Dev's composition. So Sri Guru Prashastihi. My divine Lord and Master, the abode of all transcendental qualities, came down into this world at village Hapanya in the holy land of Sri Gauramanda. Nyayaratna Vidyapit was a famous place of learning situated near the banks of the holy river Ganges that purifies the universe. There lived the jewel of Brahmanas, Sri Upendra Chandra Vidyaratna, peaceful and magnanimous. Like the radiant son of the Bhattacharya family line, he was superbly learned. He was ever absorbed in the divine service of the Supreme Lord and his consort, Shri Lakshmi Narayan. His devoted wife was the gracious Srimati Gauri Devi, the great saintly lady, the mother of the universe, and she was the mother of my Lord. 1817 Shaka era, month of Ashvin by the sun, on Saturday, the 26th, was his holy day of Advent. At the junction of the sun and Mercury, and the moon and Jupiter, with many stars in their highest position, my Lord chose the day of Sri Veerachandra Prabhu in the shelter of the same sign of the zodiac that the Supreme Lord Ramachandra appeared in. At the auspicious moment of the 8th star, Pushya, on the 9th day of the month Kartik, Mother Earth was blessed as she kissed the lotus feet of my Lord. A great joyous vibration filled the house of Acharya Vidyaratna as the pious ladies triumphantly blew the conch shell and rang the bell. His form was beautiful, radiant, golden. His long arms reached to his knees, the symptoms of a great soul. As he curled up in the lap of his gracious mother, a charming divine radiance came forth. Seeing their son's beauty, mother and father and all the chaste wives present were entranced. That best of the Brahmanas remembered the auspicious moment of the appearance of Lord Ramachandra, and so it was that he named his beloved, beautiful son Sri Ramendra. The marvelous beauty of the child pervaded the universe, and it was day by day that the spotless moon, Sri Ramendra, grew and grew. All could see as he gracefully bloomed in youth. The supreme treasure of wisdom was his natural acquisition. Seeing his greatly effulgent, divine, perfect form, all were moved to offer him all respects and reverence. His body, like a great lake covered by moss, was filled with devotion and absorbed in indifference for the world. Seeing the extreme detachment in his nature, just like the great savant Shukadev, his mother and father began to feel a constant anxiety. They felt, our son will be a sannyasi, he won't stay at home. All the symptoms of a Paramahansa, completely indifferent to the world, are present in his body. Feeling ecstasy within, yet showing sorrow outwardly, the Brahmana Sri Upendra Chandra left the world. So the Upendra Chandra, the father, left the world for the holy abode Vaikuntha. Gradually, my Lord revealed himself to the world, and by his sweet will, breaking all ties with the world, he became a sannyasi. Leaving home forever, he made his auspicious arrival at Mayapur, the divine ecstatic land of Sri Gauranga's advent. Just for delivering the poor souls of this world, he accepted sannyas from Prabhupada Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami. Because he is the guardian of devotion, as the very embodiment of the world chanting of the glories of the Supreme Lord, his guru named him Srila Sridhar Maharaj, the Lord of the highest wealth of the soul. As the savior of the fallen, he took the mantle of the mendicant, holding the triple staff, Tridanda, and wandering from place to place, he distributed divine love for the holy name of the Lord. Delivering the sinners and suffering souls from the worst conditions of life, he showered nectar all over the universe, just as did our Lord Sri Gaurahari. All glory to the great benevolent Lord, the crown jewel of sannyasins, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswami Maharaj. My countless prostrate obeisances unto your holy lotus feet. Be gracious and break my terrible mundane bondage. I am drowning in this material ocean. Please rescue this fallen soul and grant him a place at your lotus feet. I sing the glories of the day of your advent, the 9th day of the dark moon, who was so blessed to kiss the lotus feet of your divine grace. I sing the glories of Hapanya village, the great place of pilgrimage. I sing the glories of the home of Sri Upendra Chandra Prabhu. I eternally sing the glories of Sri Upendra Chandra Vidyaratna's divine son, who is the merciful radiant son, Sri Ramendra Sundar, who gave the connection of his divine ray to the lotus flower of the Bhattacharya heritage. Also, I very carefully sing the glories of Mother Gauri Devi, whose lap was effulgent with the merciful advent of my Lord. With joy, I sing the glories of the feet of all the auspicious souls who had a relationship with my Lord. It is my prayer to you all, please be merciful and bless me that I may, without obstacles, attain the loving service of my Lord. And Maharaj, this is such a just wonderful, heartfelt prayer, which I've heard Gurudev himself like saying, reciting, but joyfully stopping, saying a few words, joyfully stopping, saying a few words. And it is so much for me, the embodiment of like, who is Guru Maharaj, coming from the heart of Govinda Maharaj. And as Guru Maharaj said about Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, said that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he's amongst the other aspects of his kirtan and his bhajans and compositions, he is giving the example of how we will pray, how we will see the divine realm, in this case, the spiritual master, and how we will make our obeisances and pray to them. So Maharaj, this is actually Srila Gurudev's contribution, but my contribution to share that. And Maharaj, I do repeatedly, and we all, I think, do repeatedly have the experience when we read something, share something aloud with devotees. It is very wonderful. We can all find and read and sit by ourselves in the room and read, but we love to share. And this kind of treasure on this day, if I think that is the best glorification I can give of Guru Maharaj. And perhaps just say that everything that we see the Gurudev saying there is just so nourishing to the heart. We saw Gurudev's relationship with Guru Maharaj. We saw the appreciation of all those in the stalwart section of the senior devotees who came from the Western world, their appreciation for Guru Maharaj. We saw the natural affection, the natural honor of the senior godbrothers of Guru Maharaj in the earlier days. We've been mentioning recently about Jajava Maharaj, Srila Jaja Maharaj and others, and seeing that living example of Guru Maharaj, his presence in the world, to come to do the highest good for the whole world. And through the distribution of Srila Prabhupada, through Srila Guru Maharaj's development of what Srila Prabhupada introduced, and through Srila Govinda Maharaj, giving us access to Guru Maharaj and actually to Srila Prabhupada. In our generation, we feel this very much, that he knew Srila Prabhupada and he knew Srila Prabhupada the best, he knew Srila Guru Maharaj the best. They are such a family, and we are very fortunate and appreciate our great fortune very much to have some witness to this family atmosphere and to be accepted by them in some small part of service, brooming the courtyard maybe, but whatever it may be. So we heard yesterday from Goswami Maharaj, but repeatedly we are also always stressing that Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat is Guru Maharaj. But then we understand it is Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, because they were inseparable since 1947. And Guru Maharaj, he gave everything to Gurudev from an early time, as far as the management of the temple, the development of the programs, the preaching, the broadcasting. And inseparably, then Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat came from a pranam mantra, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Matavra Udgita Kirti Jai Shrim. It came into being the glorious worldwide mission of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev. And Srila Gurudev saying, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, it is a memorial to Srila Guru Maharaj. And so may we always keep this remembrance and understand that the devotees everywhere, they're bringing us to be conscious of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, our very life and soul, the very current that's coming from Mahaprabhu through Rupa Goswami, through Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, into the present worldwide world. That has come through Srila Guru Maharaj. So it is a super special day, and we hope that everybody will be able to not only be nourished today in remembrance and hearing the glories of Srila Guru Maharaj, but can keep that fire burning, as Guru Maharaj said, and it also recorded, it is there, and in the book somewhere, we must not keep a feeble fire. We must always be nourishing, giving nourishment to that fire of devotion, the fire of devotional service, not to keep a feeble fire. So may Guru Maharaj bless all the devotees who come to glorify him today, that their fire may be kept steadily nourished to glow bright, the fire of devotional service to the lotus feet of Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga.
Jai, Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki Jai. So beautiful, Maharaj, and I have to say, admit that no one can compete with Srila Gurudev, with Srila Govinda Maharaj. So what can we say? But Srila Gurudev will not allow us to, if we say, oh Maharaj, you've said everything and you taken everything as it were, but that will not be acceptable to him. He will expect us, as we've learned from him, to glorify his Guru Maharaj, Om Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswami Maharaj. But it's so beautifully described there. And one could say, Srila Govinda Maharaj is describing things that he did not, from an external point of view, witness personally. Right? Say he's describing what it's like for Srila Guru Maharaj to be on the lap of his mother. Just to make a point, we can say, how can he write these things? It's so beautiful and so heart swallowing. But someone might say, but he's young, how can he be there? Vyasa Prasada Shrutavan. Bhagavad Gita, Sanjaya is not there. Right? Everyone is reading this book, Bhagavad Gita. And, Sanjaya, what Dhritarashtra said, Sanjaya, what did my sons and the sons of Pandya? So someone could say, he's not there. So we're supposed to believe all these things he's saying, that Krishna said this to Arjuna and Arjuna said that to Krishna. No one asked that question. Why? Because the spiritual substance is so overwhelming. You know you're in the presence of truth. So when Srila Gurudev is expressing this beautiful poetry, only in my polluted mind does it come like, oh, he wasn't, but to make a point, because when we're saying he came at a particular time, we know he is Guru Maharaj's eternal associate. He is eternally with Srila Guru Maharaj. That he appeared at a particular time to play this part in his pastimes, we worship that. But we see them, as Srila Madhusudan Maharaj has said, and also so nicely enshrined on the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat website. What does he say? The inseparable, right?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah. How did you phrase it?
I believe his inseparable servitor. Let me just quickly look. The mission, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, the mission of the inseparable Srila B.R. Sridhar Maharaj and Srila B.S. Govinda Maharaj.
Yeah, there we go. That way, inseparable. Right? Like the other thing that comes to mind is like Gaur and Nityananda. If you can't say you're a devotee of Gauranga and not appreciate Nityananda Prabhu. That's unacceptable. That's the point of made by Kaviraj Goswami when he dismissed his relative saying, you ostensibly you're a devotee of Gauranga and you do not show proper respect to someone who personifies Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu appears to him and, oh, Krishna Das, like to show this is a major point. You've understood properly the position of the devotee. Now you can enter Vrindavan, right? Nirmat Saranam Satam. Nirmat Sarja means non-envious. The inversion of that means full of praise and appreciation for the devotee, the supreme devotee, Srimati Radharani. Once Guru said, Aparadha, Aparad means Apa Radha, against Radha. She's the supreme devotee. Anyone who has the good fortune to have a touch of devotion, it can be traced back to her. So, but so beautifully, Gurudev is expressing his appreciation for the, and his Purva Ashram, as they like to say, Guru Maharaj's parents. Right? And Gurudev told me once that her, as we heard his name, Ramendra Chandra, he said, her affectionate name for Guru Maharaj was Ramu. and she loved to hear the Harinam Sankirtan, but since Ramu was completely captured by that, and she's saying, now when I hear the Harinam, some sorrow comes to my heart, because I'm thinking, then Ramu, he left, like, so how sweet is that? Like, she's already attached to Nam Sankirtan. Now the Nam San, little sadness coming to my heart, thinking of Ramu. And that Srila Guru Maharaj, we told, when he was in that Sanskritian house, like same thing, like Gurudev, Brahmanpur means Brahmanpur. Hapania, same thing. They're Brahmins, they're Sanskrit speaking Brahmins. They have conversational Sanskrit. Someone came to visit Guru Maharaj once, and he was introduced as someone who knows Sanskrit. They're both going, hey, Guru, like to impress Guru Maharaj. So Guru Maharaj starts speaking, welcoming him in conversational Sanskrit. The man couldn't carry on the conversation. Then we were like, And just a note, sometimes Srila Gurudev would turn on the Sanskrit news in India, because they have the Bengali channel, the Hindi channel. I don't know if they're still doing it. They have this one channel where the news is broadcast in Sanskrit. And Gurudev sometimes listening to that. But so in that household of Srila Guru Maharaj, for some time he had to stay with one of his aunties, maybe for 2 years. And we were told she detected some lack of appreciation in him for the ladies section. I'll put it that way. Right? So, and he's like, I don't know, 10, something like that. And she, has a word with him, and young man, I detect in you some anti-lady spirit, and Guru Maharaj saying, I have read certain things in the Shastra. Right? And so this gives a little insight. Guru Maharaj is regulated by Shastra, but I like to think of him as the regulator of regulatrix of Shastra, because he's interpreting and making it meaningful. Achinoti yashastrartam, that Acharya extracts the inner meaning of the scripture and reveals it to you, and also its relevance. Right? Like the Ayurvedic doctor, why do they call them Kaviraj? They sit in front, I'm talking old times, sit in front of a wall of books, not just medicine, a wall of Shastra, and they've read it all, and all the Ayurveda. So they're Kaviraj, this title is there, they know all of that. Somewhere in one of those books is something that's relevant to our condition, and that he can extract that and give that to you and cure your condition. So Guru Maharaj is already like that. And so, but remember, in this household, the ladies also know Sanskrit. They also know scriptures. They know things. So she quotes a sloka that says that all ladies should be seen as extensions of Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune herself, and respected as such. Then Guru Maharaj said, then I had to readjust my position. So quote this Shastra, the Sanskrit, all right, he can hear that vibration, go into that zone, and saying, then I needed to readjust myself. But, and we're told later when he's like, he's 10, his friend is 12, and the friend shows a picture of Gaur and Nityananda. He said, here are Gaur and Nitai, and they say that Nam Sankirtan is the ultimate path, expression, conclusion, everything. As the last verse of the Bhagavatam indicates, the very last verse, 18,000, the last one, it has to be significant. All these things have been discussed there, culminating, and what we heard yesterday, the pastimes of Radha, Krishna, and the Braja Gopis, Madhura, all those Madhuras, all those things. What's the last verse? Very favorite to Babaji Maharaj, who we'll mention in a minute, but he'd go, Nama Sankirtanam Jasya Sarva Papa Pranasanam Pranamo Dukha Samanas Tannamami Harim Param. And then he'd always do something like that and then begin the kirtan. So when Guru Maharaj hears this, his friend who's 12 said, Gaur Nitai, and they say Nam Sankirtan, is the path and the ultimate thing. And what does Srila Guru Maharaj say? Do they know Siddhanta? He's asking of Gaur Nitai. Do they know Siddhanta? And his friend goes, yes. They know Siddhanta, and they're saying that Nam Sankirtan. Oh, then Guru Maharaj said, then I have to accept that. And he was charmed by Gaur and Nityananda. And he's in his goes to the college days. Well, once I just just saying Guru is no, I won't say that. There's so many things that could be said. But anyway, in college, remember Guru Maharaj, this is the apparently also of Birachandra Prabhu, and we'll mention something about that later. So Guru Maharaj is, by his own admission, he likes generosity, self-sacrifice, self-giving. And he's saying, and Krishna is like a consumer, and so he liked Ramachandra, Radharani, and Mahaprabhu. I mean, he says this. And then he also said, but recently, I am finding some special attraction to Krishna. But anyway, so he's in school as a college student. So he's always, whenever someone will show self-sacrifice, that catches Guru Maharaj's attention, imagination. Sometimes it's maybe for the family, the community, the state, the nation. That's why Guru Maharaj, he's seen the gradation of self-sacrifice, like Chanakya says, to save the family, you may have to sacrifice a member. To save the village, you may have to sacrifice a family. To save the province, you may have to sacrifice a village. To save the country, you may have to sacrifice a province. To save the world, you may have to sacrifice a country. But then what does he say? But to save yourself, you may have to sacrifice the world. Oh, Krishna Priya like that. You didn't expect that, huh? It was all good up till, then they got us. The sadhus, they say these things. So Guru Maharaj is there in school, and they go in the morning to brush their teeth, which usually means like the neem twig or something, they're out there. And this one student says to him, who Guru Maharaj admired because they had this self-sacrificing tendency, he's talking about his family. He says, that gentleman's house that I stay in sometimes, he was, And Guru Maharaj said, what? What do you mean, that gentleman's house? You're talking about your father. That is not appropriate. And he said, what you're saying is true. That it sounds a little inappropriate. He said, but really, we're wandering, the length and breadth of this universe, going from one life to another, have family, parents so many times, generationally, species-wise, birth after birth after birth. So in this life, just mean that gentleman's house. And Guru Maharaj said, that struck a sympathetic chord in my heart. He realized he wasn't just being flippant or disrespectful, but he had some natural vairagya, you could say, that was also noticed in Guru Maharaj. And I'll say what I was going to say, why it's a happy time. He was just so much dealing with the senses. For a while, he just ate cow dung to bring the senses under control. If nothing else, that tells you how serious he is, right? So then Srila Guru Maharaj, everyone knows this deep, disinterested nature he has, but also renunciation tendency, no interest in the world. Disinterested means fair and unbiased. So it doesn't mean lack of interest, but with the world, no interest in the world, and by that family life also, he's the eldest son that is detected by his father. So knowing that he most likely would not get involved in family life, on his disappearance bed, his father calls him to his side and said, I want you to promise me that you will marry. And classic Guru Maharaj said, his father's lying, they're going to leave the world. And I want you to promise me you'll marry. Guru Maharaj said, I cannot promise that, but I'll try. Anyone else would say, yes, yeah. He said, I cannot promise that. Guru Maharaj said, he cannot lie. Also, as a college student, he said, I made a vow that from this day forward, I will always and only speak the truth. And quoting him, he said, and the world became like a ball of clay in my hand. So we know he cannot lie. But there are some times in the dealings of Krishna consciousness within the relative world that the necessity of not a full, something less than full disclosure may be demanded by seva. So has to do with taxing the mat property, that kind of thing, whenever. So Srila Gurudev, who can, he knows everything spiritual, and he knows how to practically navigate the external world. He needed Guru Maharaj to lie on one particular occasion for the benefit of the seva, etc. Because in the Gaudiya Math court, when they had some battle, when they got Tirtha Maharaj on the stand to say that he lied on behalf of Gaudiya Math, Vasudeva Prabhu's lawyers and people, then they said, we've got him. And Vasudeva said, no. He said, he did that in seva, that we worship. If we're going to win this case, it won't be for that. That we worship. So anyway, Gurudev needs Guru Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj cannot. So Gurudev says to Guru Maharaj, all right, when they come, I will say certain things, and can you not object? Guru Maharaj said, that I can do. So this is the sweet, the inseparable partnership that they have. So anyway, so Guru Maharaj, he makes that promise. And just continuing, not there in that particular poem, because it wouldn't be appropriate, but so Guru Maharaj, he tries to follow his father's, to, how do you say, fulfill that promise. And we're talking Purvashram and but her Shanti, right? For some time he's in family life. And again, I only mention that because Gurudev, the Shanti Sarovar, in Hapania, Gurudev sees everything in connection with Guru Maharaj as worshipable. So even one kunda, one pond, he named, after her to give some respect. I mean, just the heart of Srila Gurudev with that and how he viewed all of his family members. But lest you think it's sentimental, it's not. Gurudev also heavily chastised family members of Guru Maharaj for not fully recognizing him prior to his worldwide Jagat Guru status. That because I'll say this, that, on that point, that when the world was now, knocking on the door, entering Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, the glories of Srila Guru Maharaj were spread all over the world. Once Guru Maharaj chastised Guru Maharaj's next brother, Amar Babu, Amarendra Prabhu, and he said, "You came from the same womb as Guru Maharaj, and you did not know his greatness. But now that the world has come and taken shelter of his lotus feet, you understand who he is." That said, Gurudev got them all to become disciples of Guru Maharaj, also his family, everyone. So when Srila Guru Maharaj, still before joining Sri Gaudiya Math, he's coming to hear the talks of Srila Saraswati Thakur. And he's such an acute listener that one of the leading devotees there, Guru Maharaj, shows up one night and he said, "I'm sorry, you won't be allowed to attend the lecture this evening." Guru Maharaj saying, "Why?" And this man's impression, he says, "Nobody listens like that." And he thought, because of the independence movement in India and other things, he thought, he's a spy. This man, he's listening so intensely, hanging on every word that Saraswati Thakur says. He thought, he must be a spy from the government. So you won't be allowed to attend the program this evening. I'm sorry. Welcome to the Krishna consciousness movement. With friends like, we can say with friends like that, who needs enemies? But in the whole Bhakti-yam sloka, we learn, with enemies like that, who needs friends? Krishna comes and saves everybody. So merciful. So Guru Maharaj is he's insulted. And it's in Kolkata. And we know, actually, the Ganga flows in Kolkata. Only there they're calling Hooghly. It's the Ganga. But there is one Ghat in Kolkata they call Ganga Gai. So that Bengalis, we love them and worship them. So that he goes to that Ghat. And he's walking along this and he's thinking, some of these people surrounding Saraswati Thakur, dot. But then Guru Maharaj says, but he is, Gauravag Vigraham Bande, Gaurangam, Gauravaibhavam, Gaura Sankirtanam, Gaura Karunya Sundaram. He's Mahaprabhu's divine message personified. He's the Gaur Vigraha. Right? There's no doubt in my mind. So then I will focus exclusively upon his lotus feet, and I will tolerate anything and everything and anyone and everyone to remain connected to his holy lotus feet and the service of his holy lotus feet. That was his adjustment. So, all right, I'll tolerate this. Right? But in time, so one more. He's at the Gaur Purnima festival, and now that it's passed, and now the time is for all the pilgrims to go home. And well, before that, we say Guru Maharaj knows that the senior devotees with Saraswati Thakur upstairs, Janmashtami, Gaur Purnima, same thing, and always testing. So he's with the rank and file devotee with the deities, and Guru Maharaj says so the deities directly, Sakshat Brajendranandana Hari, directly Krishna, directly Mahaprabhu. Yes, yeah, Then, but your Guru Maharaj is upstairs, and all the senior servitors are with him, and with all due respect, Prabhu. So what should be our understanding? Because Guru Maharaj said, you mean some representation? No, directly Krishna, directly Mahaprabhu. Oh, then, but Guru Maharaj is upstairs. And that devotee training going him up, he said, yes, he said, but Krishna or Mahaprabhu, his appearance will be more present in the heart of our Guru Maharaj. So when that time comes, all the senior servitors are there in his presence. Then the time comes for everyone to, that parting day, they're going to go back to their villages, their homes. And that's the time for the Guru to express some appreciation to everyone for coming and doing seva and participating in the festival. And at that time, Srila Saraswati Thakur starts saying, don't cheat me. And Guru Maharaj said, what? He's going, don't cheat me. And everyone is like shocked. What? And he's saying, you came here. You've come in connection with me in service to the lotus feet of Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Radha Govinda, and now you're going home? He said, I say that if your house is on fire, let it burn to the ground, but stay here and surrender yourself today, because it's that house and everything that's in it that's keeping you bound in this world. So if your own house is on fire, let it burn to ashes, but stay here, dedicate yourself today. That's Srila Saraswati Thakur. So Guru Maharaj say, so then he said, he was not showing sweetness externally, but he had the sweetness of Vrindavan within. So then Guru Maharaj is one of those people, he's like, and he's thinking back in Hapania, these responses, and also, the devotees, they're going, Prabhu, you stay, they're preaching the Guru Maharaj, and one by one, father leaving the world, mother leaving the world, then Purvashram, wife leaving the world, and they're saying, Prabhu, like, give your family a break. Don't you understand? You are meant for this. How many more does the Lord have to remove these impediments to your coming? And of course, Guru, this is his lila, his pastimes. It's like Srila Gurudev has his pastimes of coming. So anyway, so then Srila Guru Maharaj joins Sri Gaudiya Math, and he's white clad at the time, but they can see he has some special preaching capacity. Like we're told, the goddess Chandi, we have Durga, Chandi, so Bhaktivinoda Thakur's place, Ula, so many Chandi temples there. So they have like the Gaudiya Math, the two preachers and Guru Maharaj on their team, to go collect donations. And it's during the Chandi festival, and they're reading Chandi Pat, this little book you're supposed to read from them. And the head Babu, who they want to get the donations from, they're told, he's at Chandi right now, so if you'll wait, and they're waiting. So Guru Maharaj is the lowest man, and they go tell, and so Guru Maharaj goes to the man, he's doing something. He said, do you hear what is being read? What? I'm hearing something, but do you understand what's being read? No, can you? Said, one thing is, it's being told that this must be done very quickly. It should be very brief. He's taking too much time. It's also told that when you read this, you cannot move your head to the left or to the right. You see what he's doing? We're told, and factoring in these different things, you will have an extremely inauspicious, just the opposite of what you seek. You're going to do an extremely inauspicious result from this transaction. So the man stopped that. Then he came, and to the other man, the senior man, he's giving the money, the big donation. Then he turns to Guru Maharaj and he said, this man knows everything. And not only that man is saying that, but later Srila Saraswati Thakur is saying, Sridharam Sakala Beti. Because we're told once also one devotee, like everyone, although we're told it's not exactly healthy to get praise from Guru, still everyone likes to get a little praise from Sri Guru Saraswati Thakur praising one particular devotee. He comes out of the room, Guru Maharaj and others are outside, and he's saying, oh, Prabhupada's saying something and in my favor, Oh, what he's telling me. The Bengali starts saying, he told this, that. He's saying the praise that Saraswati Thakur gave for him. And over in the corner is Guru Maharaj, and he says something in Sanskrit. And all the other ones, they start going, they're like that. And that probably like, what did he say? And they go, what did he say? And they go, he's quoting that verse from the Rasa Leela where it says that each gopi thought Krishna was hers and hers alone. So you see a little insight, like, so Guru, this is a little humorous. He's extracting humor from the Panchadhyaya of the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. But it shows what kind of divine thoughts coming from Srila Guru Maharaj. So he's put on these preaching parties. Srila Bhakti Dvaita Madhav Maharaj told Saraswati Thakur, because he is like the man of volcanic energy in Gaudiya Math. Whenever Guru Maharaj would say his name, if someone was known, by the way, for years and years and years by a particular name, and then later they took sannyas, Guru Maharaj would always say, Madhav Maharaj, High-Grieve Brahmachari. He'd just have to, because that's how he was known in the time of Saraswati Thakur. It's not an insult, High-Grieve Brahmachari. So the man of volcanic energy, according to Saraswati Thakur. He told Saraswati Thakur, he said, you will be happy to know, he said, whether he's with ancient Sanskritians or modern educated British system, European time, he's representing you and this line with complete dignity, and it always emerges victorious. So Saraswati Thakur is hearing these kind of things from him, and later their preaching party, think of this preaching party. It's Madhav Maharaj, Goswami Maharaj, Prakrita Bhakti Sranga Goswami Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj. Where are they doing a program? At Swami Maharaj's house. That's the group. Prabhupada brings them over. So imagine you go to you're invited to some program. These are the 4 who were there at that program. And they said, how did he say that? Madhav Maharaj would do the introductions and the kirtan. Then Guru Maharaj would speak and Goswami Maharaj would collect. And Saraswati Thakur used to call it my party. Like we know that too. Gurudev with a certain, he called it my party. Right? So his party, Goswami Maharaj, Madhava Maharaj, Guru Maharaj. But then Guru Maharaj going to different places once, and he's the president in Delhi, and his longtime friend Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, who always singing the songs of Guru Maharaj, popularizing them throughout Gaudiya Math, always the poetry of Guru Maharaj. But has this tendency toward Nirjan Bhajan, which is not really approved by Srila Saraswati Thakur. So sometimes off, and the so-called Jangala Baliati, which would be East Bengal, Bangladesh, modern world, taking 64, Ekalaka Nam, Krishna Nam every day. And Guru Maharaj is the president, Delhi Mat. And he's thinking, I want to bring him here but maybe, I don't know, he's doing Nam San Kirtan all day. Maybe that's the desired thing. And would I be taking him away from something higher than the Mat Seva? He writes a letter to Saraswati Thakur saying, I would like to invite him here, but with your permission, approval. And Saraswati Thakur says, if you do that, you will be his real friend. Because I do not recognize that, he said, counting beads That's what he called it. Counting beads in the jungle of Baliati is Krishnanu Shilana, favorable to the culture of devotion. So if you'll take him away from that, engage him in seva in Delhi Mat, you'll be his real friend. Right? And Guru Maharaj is traveling around, and we come to the salient point that Godavari, and what is the mat they're called? Sri Ramananda Gaudiya Mat. And we know Srila Saraswati Thakur, part of his program is to install the lotus footprints of Mahaprabhu wherever he went on pilgrimage. It's a really beautiful concept, actually, because then we'll say the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Dev were here. So then, and they're marble. I think Madhusudan Maharaj was there with Paramananda Prabhu and some others. And so Guru Maharaj did this seva. But what is the significance there? As we heard yesterday, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya telling Mahaprabhu to go meet with Ramananda. And it's very beautiful because Ishwara Puri, General Guru Nimai Pandit, then Keshava Bharati Sannyas, but sometimes, Guru said, we're told his Raga Marg Diksha Guru Ramananda, who's Saki. We're told only the Sakis can give you entrance into that plane. So he's showing that too, right? Who are the Sakis? Lalita, Vishaka, Ramananda, Vishaka. So, and he's hearing from him. So, and that's on the banks of the Godavari River. And that is where comes this so-called Ramananda Sambad, the conversation of Ramananda Roy and Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu is in the position of the inquirer. And Ramananda, Kiba Bipra Kibya Nashi Shudra Kene Noi, Jay Krishna Tattva Beta, Say Guru Hoy. This is a, what do you say, an inversion. Ramananda, he's a householder by ashramic status. Mahaprabhu is a sannyasi. So the sannyasi should be enlightening the householder. Right? Why we see always the expectations of varnashram, of so many things, they're turned. Right? Rupa and Sanatan, so many things, right? Always he's showing. So Ramananda, instead, he's inquiring from him, and Ramananda is saying all these wonderful things and ultimately highly confidential things about Radha and Krishna. Later, he tells Pradyumna Misra, go hear from Ramananda. Krishna Kata, Ami Janina, I don't know, but Ramananda knows, I heard from him. Right, so Raman and Guru Maharaj said about this conversation, I get everything from there. Right? And when I asked Srila Gurudev, does Guru Maharaj ever read? Does he'd sometimes take his glasses, take them off, like go like this and go, same. Like what, they're just like for show mainly. So then and they would read the paper to him, Hari Charan Prabhu, or he listened to the radio, and on that paper, when he visited Madhava Maharaj's mat, and Gaudiya Mat, only like the guru and the leading devotee can read the newspaper. Think about that in the modern context. Only these two are left. And Guru Maharaj is visiting, and Madhava Maharaj said, oh, we need to get another paper. So they're getting to him. One devotee saying, why, we're already getting the paper. He said, no, when Sridhar Maharaj visits, we need to get another one. So, and that devotee's objecting and asking, why? And Madhava Maharaj said, you don't understand. Whether Sridhar Maharaj is reading the newspaper or the Vedas, it's the same. Like that type of faith, even his god brothers have in him. Whether he's reading the Vedas or the newspaper, it's the same. He's extracting. So anyway, So I say to Gurudev, and Gurudev said, no, I like, does Guru Maharaj ever read? No. And he goes, oh, one thing, because he's one of the persons that will read the paper or what or anything else to Guru Maharaj. He said, one thing, Ramananda Sambhad. Every now and then he'll call me and he wants to go over a particular section again. Really, Guru Maharaj could recite more or less the whole thing. But every now and then he wanted to go over some part. And what is the Ramananda Sambhad about? In essence, gradation. This is one thing that is ontologically consistent with Srila Guru Maharaj. Gradation, that's the meaning of dive deep into reality. One thing is established, then you go to the next level, the next level, the next level, you go deeper. What is in the Upadeshamrita? Gradation, right? We told Vacho Begam up to bathing in the holy waters of Radha Kunda. Brihad Bhagavatamritam. What is it? Gradation. This level of devotion, next level, next level, next. And where do they all end? All of them they end in one place. Radha Dasyam, and the service of the holy lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. And so one thing Guru Maharaj liked about there is that it culminates in union and separation. When Mahaprabhu keeps, after he accepts what Ramananda is saying, Stane Sita Shruti Katam Tanuman Manobir, hearing from a substantial devotee, that's your first real connection with reality. Go deeper, further. When he keeps saying, can you go further? Because he's gone from Shanta Rasya, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhura, Swakya, Parakya. And Ramananda says, you said when I answer these questions, I should give some Shastric reference. To answer this question, there is no Shastric reference. But from my heart, I compose a song. But whether you'll be happy to hear it or not, I don't know. That's what he says. And then he starts, we can't say that. Gurudev, this song of Ramananda, Gurudev can sing the whole thing, and he would from time to time. Pahile is the first word, that's all I'm saying. But describing the so lost in union that they feel separation from one another. Like elsewhere we hear, Radharani will see the shadow of some inconceivably beautiful woman upon Krishna, and it will awaken jealousy. And she says, who is so, I've never seen anyone so beautiful as that. And she becomes jealous until she realizes that it is her shadow. So anyway, here, saying that comes to this, how they've come together as one and lost in one another, and then it's going deeper, and then Mahaprabhu puts his hand over the mouth of Ramananda, don't say anymore. Right? And that's when, after that Ramananda says, there's something that's disturbing me, that in the beginning of this talk, I saw a sannyasi, and now I'm seeing Shyamasundar Krishna, the cowherd boy. And then, but not only that, he's covered by the golden girl. What is this that I'm seeing? And he's saying, I can't conceal myself from your loving eye. That is the vision before us of Mahaprabhu and Radha Gopal. This is what Ramananda is seeing. Right? And now, so he said, Rasaraj Mahabab Dui Ekarup. Rasaraj Krishna, ecstasy personified, and the one who can extract the maximum ecstasy, Mahabab Surupini Radha Thakurani. See how they have combined as one. Right? Guru Maharaj's exact words when he told, he said, see how they mingle. And then Ramananda faints. And when he awakens, there's the sannyasi again. So that Ramananda Sambhad, so integral to understanding Srila Guru Maharaj's ontological method, and so much appreciated by Srila Saraswati Thakur that we heard Ramendra Chandra Bhattacharya, birth name. So when he gets initiated by Saraswati Thakur, he gives him the name Ramendra Sundar at the time of Harinam. And Guru Maharaj, like devotees, the Guru Maharaj says the Saraswati Thakur. And how should we understand the Rama in this context? Because of the other considerations. And Saraswati Thakur says, Raman Radha, Radha Raman. And Guru Maharaj said that Radha, that is still ringing, you know, the lover of Srimati Radharani is still ringing in my ear to this day. Right? And when Vasudeva Prabhu and the other senior devotees who heard of, they said, what did Prabhupada tell you at the time? You know, and when he said Radha Raman, they said, oh, he's given Madhura Rasa instruction. You are so fortunate. But then in this Godavari, Ramananda Samvad played Saraswati Thakur's so much approval of Guru Maharaj and his representation of that, he changes his name to Ramananda. So then he becomes Ramananda. And you see at the end of the Premadhamma Stotram, you know, thus sayings Ramananda. He's referring to himself in that context. And I like to connect that to Mahaprabhu's telling Pradyumna Misra, Ek Ramananda, except no substitute. Him I'm telling you to hear from. There is not two. There's this one Ramananda who has this quality of representation. And Srila Saraswati Thakur recognized that in Srila Guru Maharaj, and also with the name Bhakti Rakshak, guardian of devotion, but also Sridhar. That one way to understand this is Sridhar Swami's opinion is supreme above all others. So Guru Maharaj's opinion is supreme above all others. But also Sri Dara, who's carrying the current of Sri, like Rupanuga Dara, Sri Dara. And if you invert Dara, becomes Radha, who is the personification and representation of Srimati Radharani. And not only I'm telling that, but Babaji Maharaj, Jajabar Maharaj, and of course Srila Gurudev, they went to Hapania and they consider Hapania to be Barshana. Right? And he's their god brother of Babaji Maharaj, Jajabar Maharaj, you know, and they're saying that and from their hearts. So that Srila Guru Maharaj, then that's as we told that he starts composing the Premadhamma Deva Stotram. Oh, when I would say this, like there are things that are unique to Srila Guru Maharaj. There are things that say songs, conceptions, representations, and all Gaudiya Math, all ISKCON, all, you know, such styled institutions in the world, and we worship that and celebrate that, right? But what makes Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, what is its distinguishing characteristic, is the original conceptions of Srila Guru Maharaj, as encapsulated in the Mat Pranam, as expressed in the Bhakti Vinod Viraha Dasakam, and we'll mention in a minute, Premadhamma Deva Stotram, Prapanna Jivanamritam. This is original wealth. So everywhere we're worshiping, accepting certain books, songs, etc. But understand, Guru Maharaj, he's composing original wealth that is celebrated by the devotees of substance, right? And even in the upper world, I'd like to say. So when someone asked Guru Maharaj, like, well, what, you know, basically, what is it that you have that we don't have here, you know, or that we're not getting? And this particular time, Guru Maharaj told me to, like, you know where his veranda is? And you know, there's that little walkway that goes over to the Nath Mandir from the top. It was used from time that, you know, mainly not, you know, but there was a time And Guru Maharaj would walk across that. And this was one of those times. So I put it, because it was to be very private. So I put the chair of Guru Maharaj on the other side. Basically, see the Mat domes and everything, up there on the roof. Madhusudan Maharaj knows this very well. So Guru Maharaj is there, and then I bring that person who's a sannyasi to hear from him. And we're sitting, and what does Guru Maharaj do? He gives his Gayatri explanation. I mean, it was wonderful, extraordinary. Gurudev extracted that from Guru Maharaj again. We published that first in Guardian of Devotion, and again as the last chapter of the subjective evolution of consciousness. But so understand this, that's what Guru Maharaj, like this, he's saying, what could I get from you that I can't get somewhere else? Extracting Radha Dasyam from the Brahma Gayatri. And so everyone should read that there. I'm not now going to attempt that. But I will say this. Although Guru Maharaj said, I searching and heard something hint in Jiva Goswami, cannot find it. And I'll just say this. You think about it. Since the flute song entered the 8 ear holes of Brahma, the flute song, and came out as the Brahma Gayatri, right? No one is given this explanation. It is an explanation that comes exclusively from Srila Guru Maharaj. So just think of that. Since the time of the flute song of Krishna entered the 8 ear holes of Brahma and came out as the Brahma Gayatri, Guru Maharaj, he extracted Radha Dasyam from there. And you can read that, and it's the most extraordinary thing. It's not, in other words, like a, how do you say, some peripheral thing. It is central. And it is so confidential. Gurudev was saying, like, not to publish. Like but Guru Maharaj said, but yes, but then no one will know. So then with his permission, we published. So that, and this is the last thing that I want to say, that, so Babaji Maharaj, he's going around all the Gaudiya Math saying, Pranamam, Ishada, Prabhupada Padam. And of course, they all fall in love with this song. They're all disciples of Saraswati Thakur. Remember, and Gaudiya Math, he's Prabhupada. Right? Why we're telling Bhagavan Saraswati Thakur, Gurudev said, now everyone, you say Prabhupada, everyone knows. That means Swami Maharaj. Say Prabhupada means Swami Maharaj. And we're celebrating that. We're also saying, so, but I want some special for his Gurudev, the original Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur. So I'm telling Bhagavan. And when someone thought, but is that appropriate? Well, if you can't accept it from me, it's someone, a disciple of Guru Maharaj. Gurudev pull out the Guru Maharaj's personal Bhagavatam. So in the marginalia, in Guru Maharaj's own handwriting, it says Bhagavan Saraswati Thakur. Is that acceptable? No. Srila Govinda Maharaj does not make whimsical decisions. If he goes with something like that, he's vetted it. There's precedent. What would he say? That expression, like, if what he's saying is not true, I will drag my nose so many, whatever those measurements are, cubits across the floor, like, and submission to you. That's what he's saying. I will drag my nose across the floor. It's a Bengali thing, but like, I'm that certain of what it is I tell you. So when Guru would say, like, because the news comes like all over the Gaudiya Math, they're singing Pranamam, Ishada, Prabhupada Padam, and Nikhila Bhuvana Maya, China, which all these pranams that Guru Maharaj wrote for Saraswati Thakur, they're also circulating. This is all the work of Babaji Maharaj. Because everyone liked Babaji Maharaj, they invite him to the Math. He does kirtan there, stays for some time, sings these songs and like that. First time I ever heard a line from Prema Dhamma Deva Stotram was from Babaji Maharaj. So then Guru Maharaj is saying, why are you doing this? And he said, because they're the, I find it's the same quality as what's coming from Rupa Goswami. That's what he said. Making Guru Maharaj like blush with this type of praise, but it is not just praise, it is true. And this, I just like to conclude with this. So if someone said, well, Babaji Maharaj loves Guru Maharaj so much, he's telling these things. I mean, but we can prove it. And if I can't prove it, I'm going to drag my nose across. I'm this certain of this. So in the Chaitanyastakam of Rupa Goswami, which by the way, that's what Guru Maharaj bathes in every day. Well, Gurudev, as you know, is cleaning his room and his laundry and all those things. Says, you know, Raso Dhamma Kamar Buddha Madhura Dhammo Jvala Tanur Jati Namutangsis Tarani Koti Vidyoti Basana Hiranyanam Lakshmi Varan Abhibavan Angika Rucha Satchaitanya. That one, yeah, Satchaitanya made Drishor Atitana. There's two lines. Chaitanya Kime Punar Api Drishor. Yashad. Well, again, will I see Rupa Goswami, the eyewitness, Rupa eyes, Rupa eye, that eyewitness, not external witness. We can see what he's saying. He's saying, Raso Dhamma Kamar Buddha. How sweet and beautiful is the form of Mahaprabhu. If 10 million cupids in full-blown cupidity were to combine as one, Madhura Dhamojvala Tanur, that's the sweet radiance of, see there, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Jati Namu Tangsis Tarani Vidyoti Basa, and how his golden radiance, that his saffron dress appears to be glowing. His radiance underneath is making the garments, they're also glowing. And that's where Guru Maharaj, you know, Lakshmi Varama Angika Rucha. And he said, and not this regular gold, but like super brilliant, beautiful, radiant gold. Like he said, the highest, that type of gold. Radiance coming from it. And Rupa Goswami say, will I saw with these, will he come before me again? That's one line from their favorite, you know, like that's Rupa Goswami. Then what does Guru Maharaj say? Prema Dhamma Deva Stotram, Svarna Koti Darpanava Deho Varna Gaurabam, Padma Parijata Ganda Banditanga Saurabam, Koti Kami Murchitangri Rupa Rasa Rangaram, Prema Dhamma Deva Meva Nomi Gaura Sundaram. The arti is, paraphernalia is ready. Pavan. Gay lamp, all those things. I don't have my glasses on. I can't see them. Yeah. Whoever. Raga Bhakti. When the devotees like the date rus, and my, you know, comes from the date trees, but it's only non-alcoholic if you get it like before sunrise. Otherwise it ferments in time, you know, they tap the trees and all that. But it's before you can make an offering. And this is a long, and they're asking probably like, what are we going to do? You know, like it's not at the scheduled time. They're always giving things to Krishna, not only at certain times. And he like adjusted with that because everyone was mad after that. Anyway, so Swarna Koti Darpanava Deho Varna Gauravam Padma Parijata Ganda Banditanga Sauravam Koti Kami Murchitangri Rupa Rasa Rangaram Prema Dhamma Deva Meva Nomi Gaura Sundaram. That saying Swarna Koti Darpana, Darpana means mirror. He said like 10 million brilliant mirrors of shining gold. Padma Parijata Ganda Banditanga Saurabam, his and inconceivably beautiful fragrance. Then Koti Kami Murchi Tangri Rupa Rasa Rangaram. Guru Maharaj, like Rupa Goswami gave him, now Guru Maharaj is saying, if 10 million cupids will faint to see the beauty of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. We're saying like, oh, Rupa Goswami is saying this way, Guru Maharaj is taking it this way, but that same quality of expression coming here. So he said, that's why I like to chant these things. And Gurudev said, started off as like a Panchakam, maybe 5 slokas, then an Astakam, 8, Dasakam, 10, Dwadasakam, 12, then Guru Maharaj kept going year after year, and it ended up being 70 plus, and the entire Chaitanya Charitamritam being expressed there. And the last thing I would like to say is that, so Srila Saraswati Thakur, recognizing this current in Srila Guru Maharaj as, when Guru Maharaj's strategy to capture Srila Saraswati Thakur, he's thinking, and see how the devotees think, they're thinking like, there's their Lord, but who's most dear to their Lord? You know, there are different ways to think about it. So we think, Krishna, who is the Krishna Priya? She's the, oh, so we'll focus there, you know. So he's thinking, Srila Saraswati Thakur, and in his words, he said, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is his everything. Like we say, inseparable in this group. You know, the Bhayaban Jaya Sangshana sloka, you want to say, Guna Manjari Gorima Guna Haribasana Bayanam Kamala for the Bimalotsam Kamala Priyanayanam, Brajakanana Bahumanana Kamala Priyanayanam Guna Manjari Gorima Guna Haribasana Bayanam. That's an appearance day. See how like happy we're saying in that world, Kamala Manjari, Kamala, who's very dear. Nayana Mani Manjari do Kamala and Guna Manjari Gorsa short as Babaji Maharaj. So Guru Maharaj is saying like, Bhakti Vinod is his everything. If I will praise properly Bhakti Vinod Thakur, that is the way to the heart of Saraswati Thakur. So what did he say? Sri Gauranamatam Sarupa Viditam Rupagrajanadritam Rupadye Paribeshitam Raghu Gunai Ashwaditam Sevitam Jiva Jay Abhirakshitam Sukhasheva Brahma Samanitam Sri Radha Parasevanamritam Aho Taddatumi Shobhavan. Then, oh Bhaktivinoda Thakur, what is your gift to the world? What was brought down to this world by Gauranga Mahaprabhu and understood only fully by Swarup Damodar, worshipped by Sanatana Goswami Prabhu, extended by extended by Rupa Goswami, and relished by Raghunath Das Goswami and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu. It is, you know, Jiva Jaya Bharakshitam, protected so carefully by Jiva Goswami and Baladev Vidyabhushan. Like their Rakshak Jiva Jaya Abharakshitam, from those who would imitate, challenge its authenticity, or try to adulterate this divine substance. Brahma, Shiva, Sukha, Uddhava, they're all aspiring from a drop of this divine substance. What is it? Sri Radha Parasevanamritam. Oh, Tadashmi, oh, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, this is your gift to the world. The nectarine service of the holy lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. And that when Saraswati Thakur saw that verse that, you know, they're going to publish, and he's on a tour, and he's like, oh, he's saying, who wrote this? He's saying, Sridhar Maharaj. No, Sridhar Maharaj has not written this. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written this through him. He said, oh, now I am satisfied. I may soon leave the world, but at least one man will remain behind who can represent my conception, my line. The current of Sri Rupa is flowing in that person. That is Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswami Maharaj. So within 24 hours of his disappearance from this world, Srila Saraswati Thakur called Srila Guru Maharaj to his side and had him sing that song we heard recently. We're on the Brajamandal Parikrama. Srila Narottam Thakur, Sri Rupa Manjari Pada. And it was told at that moment they witnessed a mystical power transmission of the Rupa Nuga line to Srila Guru Maharaj. And he is known and identified as the Rupa Nuga Dara, who's personifying and carrying the current of Sri Rupa. So Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswami Maharaja Avirbhav Maha Mahotsava Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Svatikar Shri Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Govinda Sundar Ju Ki Jai. Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Nitai Go Premanande. I would like someone else to sing if they could. Where is Abhiram?
Here today.
Oh, okay. Yes, can we close the curtains? We understand. It's okay. I'm saying
Jaya Guru Maharaja Yakirati Swara. Jaya Guru Maharaja Yakirati Swara. Vivati Rakshak
Just say Guru Maharaj has the Dharma, he has the writing, the Dharma Buddhi of Ramachandra. So then you think, oh, then maybe, that's a little strict. And he said, but he's more merciful than Virachandra Prabhu. How is that possible? Because he saves me. Right, Virachandra Prabhu, he Nithai Jai. Right. Thanks to all the devotees, Madhusudan Maharaj, Nama Priya Didi, Dandavat Ripu Vilas Prabhu in the Philippines, Chandrakanti Didi in China, Bhakti Sevan Rishikesh Maharaj, and Abhazia Brajalatika Didi, Dandavat, Sulakshana Didi doing Chinese translation here. Ram Sundar Prabhu. I think the deities are waiting for you. So come soon. They're for your seva. The Madhavendra Puri Gopal saying, when are you going to come? And begin my seva. So think about that deeply. Hare Krishna. Udaran Prabhu Dandavat, Yuvati Didi Dandavat. Who is at your side? Pardon me? I know that I've Hare Krishna. Kalindi? Yes, Hare Krishna. Suresh Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat, Aviram Prabhu, Dandavat, Bhakti Asrai Dandimars, Dandavat, Seva Rupa Didi in South Africa, Dandavat, Kum Kum Didi, Dandavat, Amir Sindhu Prabhu, Dandavat, Praneshwari Didi, Dandavat, Ajita, Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat, Dhananjay Prabhu, Dandavat, Viroja Dasi, Dandavat, Gaurachandra Prabhu, Dandavat, Harinam Ananda, Dandavat, Gunali Didi, Dandavat, Hare Krishna. Devamrita Prabhu Dandavat. Bamboo flute.
Nadi Prabhu's restaurant.
Oh, really?
Nadi Krishna
Oh.
Prabhu.
Okay. Nikida in Altai Dandavat, Ratin Krishna Prabhu Dandavat, Anindita Didi Dandavat, Lila Sundar Prabhu Dandavat, Ragaleka Didi Dandavat. Hare Krishna. Ananta Rupa Lila Shakti Dandavat. Sankarshan Prabhu Dandavat. Hare Krishna. Right. Vanchakalpa Triviyascha Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha.